Shalom Aleichem. Shalom. So we're here to learn Parshas Yisro. You're all familiar who Yisro was? Oh, so let's get the story. The Jews left Egypt. Moshe took us out of Egypt, out to the desert. We are on our way. We went through the sea, we split the sea, and now we're on our way to receive the Torah at Sinai. Now, that's the story of the Jewish people leaving Egypt. Now, there's somebody who comes in from the outside, Yitro. He was from Midian. He joined the Jewish people. He converted and joined the Jewish people, and he contributed a lot. As we read in our Parsha, he set up the whole system. He made the whole system so much better about how to teach, how to learn, how to judge, the whole Jewish system. And then in the end, he went back. Maybe we'll get into that. But Yitro was a very, very important convert who really added and changed so much. Now, so we're going to learn about Yitro. Okay, so let's start off with a few hints. We have to now. Rashi discusses, a few important points. Why did Yitro? Why did he convert? What brought him in? Yeah. What motivated him? B. And what was his special lesson and contribution? How did he do it? What was it? Let's try to understand better. Understand what we can learn. What we learned from him in the desert, and what we can learn from him today. Now, he did a lot. He was very smart, and he added a lot. But what was the idea? What was the point that he gave us? C, a very important question the Mefarshim asked. If we already have Moshe Rabbeinu and we have the Torah, so why was it necessary for somebody to come from Midian to teach us all of this? And if what he has is so great, so why the Torah? Let's just go study it in Midian. What was Yitro adding that the Torah doesn't give us? Why was it so important? Well, these are some of the main questions we'll be focusing in. And while we're addressing these questions, in the course of that, we'll get a much better understanding in general of what Torah is, what Am Yisrael is, what's special about Am Yisrael and Geirim and Goyim, what each one's part is. Okay, so let's start. Let's learn. So So the name Yitro, so Sfas Emes brings from Rashi, what does the word Yitro mean? What does Yitro mean in Hebrew? It means yeter. Yeter. Yeter can mean like more. It really means extra. Something is miutar, something's extra. A person has a sixth finger, chas v'shalom, it's called a yeter. Extra. So that's very interesting. So why is he called something extra? Now, one Perush, Chazal say, he added an extra parsha to the Torah. Parshas Yisro. If there wouldn't be Yisro, there wouldn't be Parshas Yisro. There would be only 51 parshas in the Torah. Yitro added a parsha. That's one pshat. Sfas Emes brings another pshat from Mazedi. It's a beautiful pshat. Now we're going to get getting deep into try to answer all the questions. He says, Ki yeter al shem shehaya kamiyutar be'ini atzmo. It really means it's really a form of humility. He believed that he was extra, and in a way was really unimportant. Well, not unimportant, that's the wrong word. but in a way extra. She'eno metzius mul kedushas b'nei Yisrael. Saying Yisro, with everything that he taught us, all of his teachings and his ideas that he brought in from the world, that was what he did. He brought in from the outside world, the Jewish people, all of his teachings, but he still understood that the Jewish people and the Torah are so special that with respect to that everything that he could bring in was really extra and in a way not important. It has almost no importance compared to the real true importance of the Jewish people and Jewish heritage and Torah. And only because he really appreciated the Torah and the Jewish people, he was able to help us. He was able to bring in all of what he had, and it's interesting. It's a very important. It's a very important rule in Musar and in Hasidus. Only when he understood, when he had that humility, and he understood that he doesn't really understand, that he hasn't reached that level of the Torah given by Hashem, and that it's almost nothing compared to what the Torah has to offer. When a person makes himself small, then a person becomes great. Then it all turns around. Then all of his ideas and all of his teachings really turn into great teachings. Then you start to realize how much wisdom there is. When a wise man realizes that he believes that there's so much more he can learn, and he doesn't really understand anything in one respect. In some respect, he doesn't really understand anything because it's infinite. There's so much more he can understand, and the more he knows, he'll always find out that he doesn't know enough. Only when a person realizes that, then his wisdom is a real wisdom. Then on the contrary, then he could really do great things and build. So let's go back to Yitro. Yitro, as a true wise man, a true great person, is somebody who understands that there's really no end to what one can learn, and he doesn't really understand. And it's a paradox. At the same time, he's teaching and he's contributing and building. He's not just ashamed and just running away. No, he believes he can do something and he's doing something. But at the same time, he looks at himself and says, who am I? What do I know? Maybe everybody else knows better than me, more than me. Okay, that's one point. But now let's get to the next step. Let's get even deeper. The whole idea of humility, that everything I know, isn't enough. Now, the truth is, it's all relative. Now, he's going to say a very important point here. After we received the Torah, and we were chosen, and Hashem gave us the book of the guidance, and gave and revealed to us that light into the world, then anything else that man can think of and can do is really so, in a way, nothing, or so in relative to that infinite, what the Torah has to offer. Now, but that's only after he actually joined the Jewish people and became part of that and received the Torah. But the humility he had before wasn't a real humility. It wasn't that it didn't have the same meaning before, because you can only reach that level of humility if you receive the Torah. If God gives us, He reveals to us the Torah, then we can say that we are always receiving, we are always learning. But before Yitro received the Torah, all he had was his feelings and his ideas and his knowledge. So then it's not a true humility. And he can't really be human. He can't really be humble because he has to work with what he has, and that's important. His own personal knowledge, that's what's important at that point. And that's one way of looking at it. And the truth is, while he was still searching, before he actually tapped into the Torah, it really isn't such a big deal to be humble, because, of course, because he doesn't really have any great infinite Torah that's coming down from Hashem. All he has is his ideas, his learning, his searching. And the truth is, any wise person knows that might be wrong. He's always searching. Nobody can really know. So that's not our special humility. That's not so great. When did it become a real humility, a real merit? Only after he joined the Jewish people, and he received the Torah with the Jewish people. Now he has the Torah, or any one of us. We have the Torah. We are part of that. Now we are part of the chosen people, the eternal people, and we have that real connection to Hashem. And now, after that, for us to claim, to admit that we still don't really have it, that's a humility. That even after we received the Torah, we're still learning more and more. That's a true humility. That's why that Yitro had two names, Yeter and Yitro. So Rashi tells us, in one place in the Chumash is called Yeter, in another place is called Yitro. All over the Tanakh, you have names that you have extra vavs, extra yuds, extra. That was the way their names had a lot more meaning than just a name. We call people a nickname. A name really is all about your neshama. It's something very, very important. It's all about what you are and your whole purpose in life. Every letter, every vowel. So in one place it's called Yeter, which means Yeter, like you said, something extra, something that no matter how much you have, you really, in a way, you're null and void. But then he turned into Yitro. That and very often a person becomes a Baal Tshuva, or a person becomes a convert, he adds a name or changes name. And not just that, a person does there are stories that people did great mitzvahs or did special heroic sirut nefesh, and they added a letter to their name or a word to their name. And when a person believes that he really changed and he grown away into like a new person, or he has reached a whole new level, then it was the custom to add a new name or to change one's name, because a person really changed. The person's always changing. When he converted and joined the Jewish people, he became Yitro, and he got the Vav. A Vav is a very important letter. A Vav represents very, very important ideas. It's in Hashem's name. So it's also Vav is when you connect things. Zeh, vize, vizeh. In Hebrew, the Vav connects two things. So that's when he really connected himself to us, to the Torah. Then he became Yitro. When he really became connected to the source, or to himself, then he became Yitro. Now, and then, and his Yeter was really important. Then his humility was reached a much higher level. Now let's try to understand more. Now let's go back to Matan Torah to understand Yitro with respect to Matan Torah, what he received at Har Sinai and what he added that we didn't receive at Har Sinai, and more. What did Har Sinai add to the world? What did that? How can we understand? How can we appreciate Matan Torah? Okay, so we have a very important teaching here from the Sfas Emes that the world was created with 10 ma'amarot. We read in Pirkei Avos, we read in Bereshis, Vayehi or, Vayomer Hashem Yehi or. Hashem said there should be light. Hashem said there should be plants. There should be animals. There are 10 sayings from Hashem to create the world. 10 is a very important number because 10 really is inclusive of everything. It's a general number to include everything. Now, what's also important, a very important lesson from that, it shows Hashem's connection with the world. We see a world, we don't see Hashem in the world. We see animals, we see plants, we see people, we see sky, we see earth, stones, flowers. We don't see Hashem. We don't see a world that's telling us to be better people, to do something about it, to change. We just see a world that's running on its own. And we see evil, we see bad, we see power, we see lots of other virtues besides the Torah, besides the real, what's real in the world, what should be real. Now, that's why when Hashem created the world with 10 amarot, 10 sayings, then all we had was a world. We had a world of nature that just by the rules of nature, not by the rules of Hashem, not by the rules of the Torah that you have to be a good person. If you're a bad person, it's wrong. You don't see that in the world of nature. Now, Sfas Emes teaches us that was really the point of the Aseret Hamakot. The 10 plagues, the 10 punishments that Hashem gave to Paro in Egypt were to fix them. Paro was, that was the darkest that mankind reached. Paro said, who is Hashem? All I see is power. All I see is this world, this physical world. He couldn't accept that there's Hashem in the world. So Hashem had to give him 10 patches, and the Meforshim all explain how each one was to a different part of nature. The rivers, the animals, the people, the skies, the earth, to show that no, Hashem created that. Hashem is in charge of that. If you sin, that's what's going to happen. Now, that still wasn't enough. The 10 patches just help reveal what's really inside the world, that really is a good world. But we still didn't know what to do about it. We still didn't have a Torah that tells us how to be good. That's why you have to have the Aseret Hadibros. Now at Har Sinai, we have the 10 Commandments. That's really the completion of the 10 Ma'amarot that the world is created with. Hashem, but the 10 Ma'amarot, they weren't messages. They're beautiful. That is the creation of the world. That's Hashem's power in the world, but it's not telling us what to do with that. It's not a real connection that we can have with Hashem to do it, to do something with that, to act as people for Hashem. Now, when we finally had the 10 Makot and then the 10 Dibrot, then it helped us see that really in this world, the whole world was created for that. Really, the world was created to serve Hashem. We learned last week about the whole world. The world has Shabbat Shira. When we sang at the Yam Suf, the first time the whole people together sung, and Sfas Emes commented there, it wasn't just a song of the Jewish people. It was to get the whole world to sing. It was to bring songs, to bring the idea of a song into this world, that the world is really beautiful, and there really is a dibor. There really is a message. There really is a good message of the Torah that's going to come into the world. Now, the Sfas Emes now in Yisro here, he adds another important point to all of this. So all of this is a beautiful teaching, that the world was hidden. You know, all the good, all of Hashem's plan, Hashem's presence is all hidden. By the Eretz Hamakos, we revealed Hashem, and the Aseret Dibros, now we revealed what we can do about that, how we can fulfill that and follow that. Okay. Now he adds an important point, that why was it necessary for the world to have so much darkness, those thousands of years, till Yetzias Mitzrayim, till Har Sinai, and nobody saw Hashem's Mamarot, that is Hashem was making this world for his purpose. So he brings another quote from his Seidi. He says like this. He says that He says, "Kamo ha'adam shenichnas bo mikodem yetzer hara, v'achar kach ba yetzer tov." So he says a beautiful mashal. He says it's really like life, like human life, not like we'll see, not like animal life. When a person is born, so we all know from Chazal teach us, when a person is born, all he has is a yetzer hara. That doesn't mean that a child is evil. It doesn't mean a baby is evil. Yetzer hara is not necessarily evil. All he cares about is eating and drinking and pleasure and just having a good time and making trouble and messing things up and just doing what he only when he gets bar mitzvah, when he matures, then he gets yetzer tov. Only when he reaches a certain age, then he becomes mature enough to know, I have to do something for others. I have to do something more. There are important things to be done here. Not just about myself, just having more candies and just playing. So that's, by animals, it's not like an animal. When the animal's born on the first day, he's just as mature as he is when he's 10 years old or 50 years old. There's something special about people that people have to grow. A person is born without Torah, without Chokhmah, without a Yetzer Tov, just like a behemoth, just even worse than a behemoth, just making trouble. He can't even take care of himself, just being a baby. And then afterwards, at a certain point, then the Yetzer Tov comes into a person. Person Yetzer Tov, he grows. He outgrows that Yetzer Hara, or he outgrows that child. Says Kain haya aseret mamaras krovim elateva. She says beautiful. So the world is really like a person, right? The whole world, the person is like a small world, and the world is like a big person. When the world was created in Bereshit, it was like a baby being born. There's no Yetzer Tov yet. The baby is a baby. The baby just eats and drinks and walks and does his thing. The baby is even wild. I don't know if the world was wild only after the sin, but the world was not. There was no Yetzer Tov in the world. There was no yet. We see in the Mabul, there was no Yetzer Tov. Just be as powerful as you can, hurt as many people as you can, have success. That was in the Mabul in Egypt. That's what the world was about. There was no Torah telling us not like that. To be the Jewish people, to be a holy people, we didn't have that. Ad shehoyo aseres hadibros, till we came to Har Sinai and we got the Torah. Now we have the 10 Commandments. Now the world matured into a grown-up. And even if we don't follow it, even if we sin, and we sin plenty, the Jewish people, as a people, we sin plenty, but at least we're grown-ups. We know what's right and what's wrong. We know we shouldn't. We know that we have to follow the Torah. This is beautiful. It's the Asas Adibros. The world is renewing and growing, and it's really fixed from a baby, from an animal to a person. It's a fixed and renewed world. And it shows us that person, that baby that was wild till now, is really here for a purpose. And the world is really here for a purpose. It's all created with Hashem's will. So he adds, so let's summarize what we said till now. The world was created Hashem's will, from Hashem commanded the world. Created, but it wasn't. You couldn't hear that. You couldn't hear it. There's no message, and not only was there no message, you couldn't really hear that's true, that Hashem created the world. You couldn't see that world till we had Mitzrayim, the temple. Hashem performed all the miracles and took us out of Egypt. We see the Jewish people coming out. Now we see a different world. We see a world that Hashem is in control. Now, that's called That's a dibur. Now, the truth is, we learned last week. He said, beautiful teaching. There are different levels. There's the music and there's the words. Coming out of Egypt, we still didn't hear the words till we came to Sinai, but we started to realize. We started to realize that now we have to go on advance to receive the Torah, to bring the Torah into the world. That's why Hashem is taking us out. But we didn't see that. We only saw that at Yam Suf. At Yam Suf, when Hashem performed the miracle at Yam Suf was different than the 10 plagues. The 10 plagues were all negative. Sfas says, patching the evil Egyptians and also saving us from all that suffering. That was good, but the Yam Suf was a special miracle. That was more than that. It wasn't just about killing the evil and taking us out of that evil. It was something more. It was a positive message about revealing that light into the world, that song into the beauty into the world. It was really the introduction to Matan Torah, and that's why we sang. Only then we had words. Then we had a song with words. Then there's actually a message that we can express ourselves, and we can receive the Torah, those words, and follow them. Now let's get back to Yitro. אחר יציאת מצרים נסגל זה הקול והדיבור עד שגם ישרו שמה. Now, after Yitzias Mitzrayim, it says, how does the parsha starts off? Vayishma Yisro. Yisro heard. So Rashi comments. Rashi asks, what exactly did Yisro hear? So there are many Pirushim. What did Yisro hear that brought him close? Did he hear about Yitzias Mitzrayim, the 10 plagues? Did he hear about the Yam Suf? Did he hear about Amalek? Did he hear about Matan Torah? He heard something. But that was all going on. The Jewish people are leaving Egypt. People started hearing that, they're hearing a new song in the world, that you could be living in Midian, and if you want to listen, Yisro wanted to hear. He heard, this is special. This isn't just another miracle. This is special. He heard Yam Suf. He heard the song the Jews sang at Yam Suf, and he heard the actual miracle that Hashem did out of the love for the Jewish people. And he heard Matan Torah. He heard that there's a special message here. And he wanted to be part of it. So now he adds another point about Yisro, very important teaching about Yisro. Now Yisro, we all know, he was always searching for the truth, and so some say that he really discovered on his own that the truth. He discovered on his own he decided on his own to join the Jewish people. That this is the truth, and he left all of his idol worship, all of the other paths yet. He came to the truth on his own. Now, so now we're gonna have to. Now this Sfas Emes teaches us that the truth is there's a certain amount a person can understand on his own, without the Torah being given to us at Har Sinai. Yisro, he searched, and he learned, and he studied, and said, this is right. Now, once he came to Har Sinai, and once he joined the Jewish people, who received the Torah from heaven. Now, we didn't go through that whole path Yisro went. We didn't search, we didn't study, we didn't try out all the other paths. We came to Har Sinai and we heard Hashem's voice. We received the Torah straight from Hashem. We came straight to the end, straight to the answers, straight to the truth. And there's no way of running away from it. We saw this is the truth. This is what the world was created for. It was all revealed to us in Egypt, in the Yam Suf, at Har Sinai. It was all revealed to us that this is the truth. So now that we have the Torah, the truth is that after receiving the Torah, after knowing that this is the truth, that we are the Jewish people, and just now we have to fulfill the Torah, but we know that this is the truth. Now, Yisro discovered that all of his searching and learning was kind of extra. It was kind of purposeless. It wasn't really necessary. Because anything you can discover on your own is good, but it's nothing compared to receiving the truth from Hashem. And after receiving the Torah, then he saw that all those years of searching were kind of in vain. You just open up the book and read the answers. Go to the last page of the story. So you see everything. You see the answers. You didn't have to read through the whole story. So he spent his whole life searching and trying this and trying that. So Hashem shows him, this is the answer. This is the truth. But that didn't bring him down. Was important. His path was important. And he took all of everything he did, all of his knowledge, everything he did till then, his whole life, he was able to use that to help the Jewish people. It's important, but only because he really acknowledged that it was only means to get to the real truth of the Torah. And this is a very, very important teaching in general about Chokhmah, about learning. We serve Hashem, and he also connects it, it's also in our parsha, Nase v'nishma. Nase v'nishma is a very important teaching of the Sfas Emes. We all know Nase v'nishma. When we were at Har Sinai, Hashem asked us, do you want the Torah? Do you accept it? It's not easy. You sure you want to accept this commitment? So we answered two things. Naaseh, we'll do it. We can do it. The nishma, and we'll listen. We'll hear it. We'll accept it. So it should have been the other way around. First, you have to hear it, nishma, and then naaseh, then do it. First, you have to learn it, then you can do it. You can't do it before learning it. So he says a beautiful chat. He says a very deep meaning to this. There are two levels of learning. Nishma, like vayishma Yisro. Okay, that's that you can listen. And you can learn, and but how you're always going to be learning more and more and more. Anything you learn, it's really, you'll never really get to the end. You'll never get to the final truth. But you'll always be learning and listening. But there's something called nas, asiya, doing that act. Doing a maaseh, doing a mitzvah, and that refers to the mitzvah of the Torah, doing it and following it, that brings you to a much higher level of nishma. what you understand by doing it is more important than 1,000 books. You could read 1,000 books about the Torah, but actually doing the Torah, then you really understand what it's about serving Hashem, what it's about being part of the truth. So, Naaseh v'nishma, what Am Yisrael said at Har Sinai, when Hashem offered us the Torah, Am Yisrael said, we can't understand it. Certainly we can't understand it before we receive the Torah, but we know that only by doing it, the nishma, by doing the Torah, by receiving the Torah and doing it, that's the greatest level of understanding. It's doing what Hashem said. That's really understanding, and that's really what happened to Yisro. Before he received the Torah, he had chokhmah. He understood. He discovered. He searched. He learned, but it's still searching and learning. It's still not tachlis. Only when he received the Torah and the mitzvahs, which gives us mitzvahs that we do, we serve Hashem by doing, not just by thinking or believing or studying. We serve Hashem by doing that mitzvah. Hashem said, do this. Hashem said, don't do that. When we do a mitzvah, then that's a connection we have with Hashem that's way beyond anything we can understand, for the simple reason that we can never really understand everything. So how much of a connection can we have with Hashem by knowing, or certainly by feeling? But by doing a mitzvah, every act we do, and doing more and more and more positive acts, and constantly doing more, that's a connection. That's a real connection with Hashem. And the more we do, it has to bring us to more deeds. And the more we learn, certainly it has to bring us to deeds, to doing. That's really the highest connection to Hashem. All that Yisro was discovering. Yisro, he heard about the miracles, and even before the miracles, he knew he knew what the truth was. He studied and he tried and he reached the truth. But till he came to Har Sinai with the Jewish people and he actually did it, only then he really understood that this is something much beyond anything he had till now. Then he became Yeter, became Yitro. And this is and this is all part of the same process of the world. The world evolving from just a creation, a beautiful creation, and with chokhmah, with all that, but to evolve into a world with receiving the Torah, we know we have to do. We have actions. We have mitzvahs. That's how we become a holy people, a people who serve Hashem, a nation with mitzvahs. That's what happened at Har Sinai. And that's what Yisro really finally, he accepted that. And he brought in all of his chokhmah to help that. He knew the chokhmah was all to bring Maisim. And it was to bring him to that stage. And to help others who are on the outside, who don't have that yet, but to help them. To help them to get to that, to that gift of the Torah. Okay, so what should we take out from all this? What do we do now? So the next step. So we have to take out from Parshas Yisro the Maisa. We have to learn from Yisro what he did. That he did both. even though he had his whole life of his chachma, what he understood and he learned, but his true greatness was that when he finally was there at Har Sinai, and he saw just the Torah, a simple Torah given by Hashem. He said, "This is much greater than all of my wisdom, all of my genius wisdom." He was able to say that. He wasn't ashamed to say that. His whole life of lecturing and studying and all that, he wasn't ashamed to say. But when a simple little child says Shema or keeps Shabbos, that's a much higher level, a much greater understanding of the truth of Hashem than all of his books that he wrote. That this is something eternal. This is something that will always last. And this will bring true wisdom into the world. So we have to really appreciate that. This is the parsha of Matan Torah, the Asaras Dibros. You have to appreciate that on one hand, there's the world with the 10 Ma'amarim. There is a world, there's a beautiful world out here with all this creation. And there are miracles, as Sfas has taught us in Egypt, there are miracles. Hashem performs miracles, but they don't necessarily, all of us see miracles, but they don't necessarily change our lives. What's going to change our lives is doing that mitzvah. Each dibur, the 10 Commandments, the 613, doing. That's what's going to change our lives. That's going to really connect us to Hashem. To know that in such a simple way, in a simple way of being to serve Hashem, and to bring that into the world. So we should all be able to do it. Help us and help all of Am Yisro, whole world. Shabbos.